Hey guys, what's up? Spaz here once again with another video for you. And today we're gonna talk about the Yamaha MT-15 and the one question that everyone is asking, should you buy it? Okay, so if you're someone that's looking for a reason to buy the Yamaha MT-15, then this is the video for you. In this video, we're gonna talk about the history on why I bought the Yamaha MT-15, the features, pros and cons, and then at the end of the video, I will give you my final review and my thoughts on whether you should buy the Yamaha MT-15. Let's go! Okay, so let's talk about a little history of why I bought the Yamaha MT-15. I'm not really a new rider. My first bike is actually a scooter back then and when I was in Thailand, and I had a little accident with it. So from that moment on, I haven't touched a motorcycle up until now. So fast forward, the main reason that I got the bike is because that I travel a lot, and mostly I do solo travel. So back then I have a car, but it's really expensive in sense of gas and port fees because I have to go island from island. So buying a motorcycle is definitely the ideal way. So I asked my friend on what are my choices for the 150cc. So I don't want to get a scooter anymore. I want to upgrade into a more bigger bike. So I came across the Yamaha MT-15, which is the only bike that looks very aggressive on the bunch of the bikes that are listed on that year. That year is actually around 2019. So the bike right now is 2 years on me. So moving forward, let's talk about the features of the bike.
The engine is the same as the R15. The only difference between the two is that the R15 is built for top speed, while the MT-15 is built for low to mid-range torque. That's why the MT lineup means master of torque. This is high performance 155cc LCV4 fuel injection engine that delivers agile and torquey acceleration. Variable valve actuation, or VVA. To simplify this feature, the VVA is like a turbo or a boost power to your bike. When you reach around 7,000 RPM, you will feel great boost of torque and power from the engine. So to get the full advantage of this feature, you will have to hover around 7,000 RPM. If you are after for high speed for this bike, then you would need more straight roads. I managed to clock 140 on this bike, and I am not breaking that record anytime soon. I think this feature stands the bike out from the rest. Usually, this feature is offered to big bikes. From the time that I bought this motorcycle, it was the only bike that offers slipper clutch for its category. Basically, what a slipper clutch does is it prevents damage to the engine when you are downshifting hard, allowing the clutch to partially slip so that the engine speed matches the speed of the motorcycle. The tank holds a whopping 10 liters capacity. This is also another advantage of the Yamaha MT-15 versus other bikes. In my experience, I get the convenience of not stopping to have gas for the duration of the ride. The one significant instance that the 10-liter tank capacity is when we were riding for a 600 kilometers ride loop. I only had to stop once to gas up compared to the others. If you are interested in the numbers, the Yamaha MT-15 fuel economy is at 45 kilometers per liter. Basically, what an upside down forks give you is a lighter responsiveness in steering, better compression and rebound dampening, and the durability of the forks. I've seen a lot of bikes under the 155cc category that doesn't offer this, so it is good to know that you have it already with the Yamaha MT-15. And on top of that, the upside down fork looks amazing compared to the traditional forks. The Yamaha MT-15 has the best looking front end lights out there in the market. If you're looking for a bike that turns heads, this is the bike for you. It sports 2 daytime running lamps, and it looks like an eye, and a bi-LED projector headlight which looks like a map. Put them all together and you get these powerful and aggressive lights that create an intimidating character and provides clear view of the road. Obviously, the MT series stands out far better than the rest of its competitors because of the sharp edge design all throughout the body. Looks aggressive, especially if you are in the right angle. Obviously, the main attraction is in the front lights that gives its unique look. Everywhere I go, mostly I get asked on what is the CC of the bike. This is because of its big bike style. Because of its very similar design to its brothers, the MT-07 and the MT-09, you can definitely mistaken it for a higher CC bike. If that doesn't persuade you to buy the MT-15, then I don't know what is. The riding position in this bike is absolutely flexible. You can shift from a relaxing driving position to an aggressive driving position in an instant. That's mainly because of its longer and wider seat space. This is actually beneficial in long rides where you need to reposition your butt, and because of the way that the tank is built, you can easily tuck away your legs to the tank and it gives you better aerodynamics and feel for the bike. Because of the well-built frame of the bike, it is well balanced. Once the bike gets going, it is easy to move it around, thus making it very rideable in traffic and city use. It is very lightweight when riding, and you have full control of the bike. And because of its wide handlebars, you can easily maneuver through traffic. You will be surprised as to what the bike can do in traffic and in city riding. Definitely an edge of the Yamaha MT-15 to its competitors. Because of the well-balanced frame and rigidity of the way it is built, you can easily control this when coming into a turn. And because of its height, it has a lot of ground clearance where you can lean over more aggressively and not worry about sliding. I think this is one of the best features of the bike. This by far is the most beautiful panel I have seen in a bike. The fuel gauge, RPM meter, gear indicator, and the way that it is arranged is more of a compact but sensible in a way that you can easily find what you are looking for when you're riding. On top of that, you can have protectors cover it with designs so you can customize it just like what I have. Because of what it is designed for, mainly for low to mid-range torque, you can easily overtake vehicles in the road, giving it more power than other bikes. When the VVA kicks in, you can definitely feel the pull of the engine. Personally, this is what I like about the MT-15 because of its character, that when it begins to pull, you get a mixed feeling of fear and calmness that you would be begging to get more and more. So I always like to open the throttle more and more just to play with the engine, and I tell you, the feeling is absolutely amazing. This bike is very flexible when it comes to whatever style of riding you want. It can be a city bike or a touring bike. Because of its front and rear strong suspensions, you can definitely pack more luggage in this bike and it will still hold its ground. And because of its ride height, you have plenty of ground clearance to have for those additional weight from the luggage, and should you wish to have a back ride, it will still have room for more. If you are a short rider, then this bike is very heavy. By heavy, I am talking about when it is parked or when you stop over the stoplight or just maneuvering around. If you check the stat sheets, the bike is much heavier than its counterparts. It counts as a whooping 138 kilograms. This may be because of its torquey engine. The weight definitely compensates for the power. I cannot tell you how many times I dropped the bike just by maneuvering around the slow turn or just by parking it. Definitely need to get used to the weight of the bike. The Yamaha MT-15 sports a 810mm seat height, much higher than the MT-03 and the MT-07. And because of this, you will have a hard time maneuvering the bike from a stop-to-go situation and vice versa. So if you are a short rider, that's one thing to consider if you are buying the Yamaha MT-15. Of course, there are other ways to lower the MT-15 to a better or much reliable height for short riders. Because of the power of the engine, the rear suspension is a tad bit of stiffer than most. It will definitely compensate for the power to hold its ground and to prevent wheelies when you open the throttle. The rear suspension can be very uncomfortable. You will definitely feel this when you are over 80 kilometers per hour speed. It feels like the bike is going to throw you over if you ever encountered uneven road. This is also a bad experience for back riders, so whenever you are opening the throttle and would like to know your top speed, then hold on for dear life, because that rear suspension is gonna keep rocking you all throughout your ride. Then again, you can easily swap the suspension with aftermarkets so you can adjust the rebound. The Yamaha MT-15 seat is by far the most thinnest cushion I have ever felt. If you are riding for long distances, then you would definitely feel the comparison of riding touring comfort versus the Yamaha MT-15. You can definitely add some aftermarket seat cushion, but it is something to consider if you're choosing this bike if comfort is one of your priorities. The Philippines version of the MT-15 doesn't have the ABS, but any other versions have the single channel ABS. For riders that wants ABS, then this is a bit of a letdown. For its price point, having dual ABS can definitely justify for it. Then again, for me, I have no problem with braking. You'll just have to get used to manually prepping your brakes and growing into it. Although the headlights is unique compared to its competitors, it is a bit of a letdown. It barely lights up the road, especially when you are riding with no street lights. You will have to buy aftermarket lights like mini driving lights to assist you in those dark roads, and sometimes to light your way when you forget to bring a clear visor and you have to bear the pain while riding through the night.
Okay, so that wraps up our video for the Yamaha MT-15. So my final thoughts and my verdict. For me, the Yamaha MT-15 is still worth its price. And because of the change of lineup and design of the MT series of Yamaha, the MT-15 is still the best looking bike out there of its class. You'll have to get used to the braking system with no ABS. You'll have to get used to the ride height. If you're a short rider, you can always find some ways to lower the Yamaha MT-15. There are lowering kits and then other ways to lower it. For me, as time goes by, I get used to the bike. I know already how to maneuver it. whether it's parking, driving through traffic. If you're someone who considers a bang for your buck, then this is not the bike for you. Better get a scooter. But if you want that head-turning look from a bike with a torquey engine, agile and very flickable in the corner, with the capacity to be a touring bike, then this is the bike for you. I always think that the Yamaha MT-15 is built for riders that want to go the distance and at the same time be very flexible in roaming the cities. So with that being said, should you buy the Yamaha MT-15? I leave that up to you. As always, just ride it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.